right now, we bring you, courtesy of Louisiana Hot Sauce, Texas Rangers manager Bruce Bochy. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, guys. How we doing today?
Well, if we weren't doing anything but excellent, shame on us, because what a day it was yesterday. This isn't really a question. I just wanted to say congratulations to you and the team on the win and getting out to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, the boys did well. That early lead held on. We're trying to tack on, but pitching came through. What a great job they did. Started with Nate, obviously, with the great effort he gave us, especially in that fifth inning, bases loaded, nobody out. He just bowed his neck, and that's what great pitchers do. They have that ability to turn it up a notch, and bullpen came through for us. And so big win. Again, a lot of baseball, but it's good to get 2 games there.
Boch, sitting there watching and listening to that game yesterday as I was kind of in the car and then at home and stuff, I was nervous, like the entire game. Is that what we're supposed to feel like as fans in playoff situations? Is that the feeling we're supposed to have?
I think so. It's pretty intense. Every game, every pitch, every play can determine that game. So, yeah, I think that's normal. I don't know. I haven't been in your situation, to be honest, on that side. But, it's intense in the dugout, too. Trust me. These guys, though, are just doing a great job of enjoying it, but yet, bringing that intensity that you need every day.
Boch, you guys have been in this series very aggressive at the plate. Yesterday, 4 guys come up, and you already have 2 runs on 8 pitches. And obviously, you guys were pretty aggressive early on against Justin Verlander, trying to, it looked like, hunt a fastball, get one you can hit, and go after it. Is that the approach against all of these Houston Astros, or each pitcher is an individual situation?
Well, every pitcher, is going to alter your game plan maybe a little bit, but for the most part, yeah, that's the plan on everybody. And if that first pitch is a good pitch to hit, that's the one you want to swing at. With the quality of pitching, you facing a guy like Verlander, for example, it's tough to get behind him by taking that first pitch if it's right there, or a pretty good pitch to swing at. But then again, you may see a guy, it could be a bullpen guy, it could be a starter, his walk percentage is up, and that's a guy you may want to see some pitches, work him and try to get his pitch count up and try to get those walks. So every day there's a meeting, and every team does it now, I'm sure, but Donnie and Ecker, I'm talking about Tim Hires, they do a tremendous job of having these guys prepared for who we're facing, the approach, and what to look for and what to stay away from and those type things.
Boch, I've been really impressed with the mindset of Montgomery and Evaldi, also the relievers in this series so far, but the mental part of the game is so tough, especially when you get into these playoff situations, and Monty was able to work out of a situation, I believe it was in the 4th inning in Game 1, and yesterday you just mentioned Evaldi, bases loaded, nobody out. I know you give the players credit first, but who else would you give credit to for your guys being so mentally tough in these situations?
Oh, with these pitchers, I got to start with Mike, Mad Dog Maddox. He's just incredible at having these guys prepared, where to go to. And every situation is different. Maybe men on base, it may be with nobody on base. But anyway, also I need to add to that, he goes out there and has his 30 seconds to get them in the right frame of mind mentally, to game plan on the pitches that they need to throw. And that's not a lot of time, but he's as good as anybody. He just does a tremendous job of knowing when to go out there and what to say.
Boch, one of my former teammates is Zach Sorensen, and he's the mental coach for the Atlanta Braves. Do you guys also have a person who the guys can kind of meet with to kind of talk about the mental approach to whether it's at bats, pitching, games, series, whatnot?
We do have mental skills guys. David Franco is the guy that's here with us every, maybe a couple times a month. So, yeah, every team. I think it might be a requirement, to be honest, but don't hold me to that. But every team has one. I know in the past we've always had one. I had a pitcher that pitched for me to end up being our mental skills guy, Bob Tewksbury. So it's a big part of the game, and not just on the game itself, but, just handling yourself, dealing with adversity, things like that, anxiety, whatever it is. So, these guys are valuable. The players use them, not all, but, they bring a lot to the table, and I think they're needed with some players.
Do you think the team will watch Diamondbacks Phillies today? Or are you like, we got enough stuff to worry about with just our team, let's keep the focus only there?
Well, I think some will. It may be. I mean, we're here working out today from 5 to 7, so this is more of an optional workout. We've got a couple pitchers that need to throw, but some guys don't like that day off. You do want to keep your edge, so you kind of weigh what's going to bring the most benefit. Taking that day off, or coming out here and getting a few swings, whatever. So we do leave it up to the players. In a situation like this, we did this in Tampa before we played them. But my guess is there will be a lot of guys here just coming, whether it's just working out, getting some treatment, or maybe a few swings in.
Bruce Bochy joining us here on the K&C Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan. And Mike and I were talking earlier about the maturation of Leody Taveras and how Mike said it was an adult move last night to tell Evan Carter, even though I know you're Evan Carter, I got this ball. And then he was communicating so well to Marcus Semien on that pop-up. And just even his plate appearances just look like he's matured so much, even between July and now. What are your thoughts on how he's grown?
Oh, I totally agree. I'm with you on that. Yeah, it's been fun to watch his progress. With Leo, coming in here, I knew he was a really good athlete, but he would make young mistakes. He would expand in the zone, wasn't aggressive in center field, all these things. And I tell you what, this guy he's really made himself into a tremendous all-around player, switch hitter, power. But to your point, he's taking charge out in center field when you want him to. He's running these bases hard. He's shrinking the strike zone. It's just fun to see how far he's come since spring training. Remember, we didn't have him at the beginning of spring training. He had an injury, so it was a little slow for him trying to get it going there in early go. But now we're looking at a mature ball player that's playing well in all facets of the game.
I know, obviously, you guys are focused on the here and now, but I'm curious for players like Leody, Evan Carter, Josh Young, who are so young in their careers. What do you think getting this postseason experience now can do for them over the next 5, 10, however long years?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, first of all, it's an invaluable experience, to be in the postseason. And I've said this even in the minor leagues when these guys make the playoffs. It's exciting down there. It just teaches you to perform under pressure and realize how important every pitch, every play is. And so, these guys, learn to play like that because you got to have talent. That's a given. And you got to have that mental toughness you were talking about, dealing with the season itself, the ups and downs. But, and the last thing, you have to learn how to perform under pressure. That's having that emotional control when the fans are screaming, it's so loud out there. And so this is something that will help them the rest of their careers. And the other thing is I want to mention is you realize why you play the game. When you're in this situation, and I think, the guys that have not been here when they were in Tampa and then, of course, Baltimore, which was packed and loud, they realize this is why we play. It's just exciting. It's so much fun. It's intense. It's a different type of fun, but it's a different game than a regular season. So I think these guys, now have even a better understanding of why we do what we do.
Boch, this question is not to be a Debbie Downer. I'm so excited you guys have won 7 in a row, but you've been through a lot of playoff experiences, and I was looking back at your San Francisco Giants teams, and you had times where you controlled series all the way through like you have so far with Texas, but I saw in 2012 you guys won a championship, and you were down 0-2 in a 5-game series to Cincinnati. You were down 3-1 to St. Louis and came back and won that in 7. So just for the Ranger fans, hey, this is exciting, playing great, but this isn't over yet. There's still 2 more games that you have to win, and they can be difficult ones.
Man, you are a Debbie Downer.
I know. Just that it's not. You got to win 4.
No, I don't know. Hey, it's the best out of 7. And we know that. That's the way it is. You know, each series was different, but best out of 3, 5. Now it's 7, and nothing happens until you win 4 games. We trust me, we get it. I know I get it. Our focus, I don't look at what our record is now. I'm looking at trying to win the next game, and that's how you have to look at it. You get that 4th win, then you've done your job. But until then, the job's not over. We have work to do. This is what you deal with in the postseason, and but you got to just keep your focus. And I mean, maniacal focus on going out there and trying to win that game that you're playing that day. Don't look at what the record is.
Boch, when it comes to managing in the playoffs, I was kind of setting up there. You can be managing where you have a 2-0 series leading a 7-game series, or you're down 0-2, or if it gets to you're down 3-1 or up 3-1. What tweaks do you make, or how different do you possibly manage when you're up in a series versus down in a series?
Well, I think it's fair to say, you watch it. You watch some of these playoff series. You go to L.A. and Arizona, Atlanta. If you're down to being eliminated, you got to throw everything at them. Obviously, you're doing all you can to win every game, anytime, but not to that point where you're not going to have anything left for the next day or the rest of the series. But when it comes down to the last one, it's all hands on deck. And so maybe that's the biggest difference. Sure, I've been in that situation. But in a 7-game series, you do have to watch a little bit more than a short series as far as burning your guys out.
Now, I've been wondering this since y'all won the ALDS series, Boch, and moved on. Are y'all like keeping track of how many games are left on Austin Hedges' butt? Is that something y'all are doing, or like what's going on with that phrase that you said?
Yeah. Again, second thing, I can't go into it. Some things stay here, but we have a lot of fun with it. Hedges, he's a beauty, man. I tell you, he's just been a joy since we got him. I love his energy, love his humor. Plus, he does a great job behind the plate. He's not getting any work right now, but no, he's we have a little thing going here. But once it's over, I'll talk a little bit more about it.
So I know Heim's doing a great job behind the plate and calling a great game. I was wondering, because Hedges is such a great caller of a game, he's a great framer. Is he part of kind of the maybe starting pitcher, catcher, pitching coach meeting to maybe give influence on what he has done against certain hitters?
Yeah. It's when they all talk, there's input from everybody. They're kind of going over the pan. That's Mike. What he's wanting these guys to do, but also you want thoughts from everybody. None of us are as smart as all of us is how we look at it. So we're all trying to help each other, to get through this.
We're all excited about the team coming back home, playing in Arlington. Are there any types of restrictions in place for Max Scherzer tomorrow, seeing as how he is obviously coming back from an injury as well?
Well, I've said this. He went 69 pitches when he threw the hitters, 4 or 5, about 6-7 days ago. But so that's the starting point. But we'll keep eye on him, a watchful eye on him, where he's at. We'll be checking with him. We'll, of course, we'll watch and see if there's any change in stuff, location, velo, things like that. But I'm telling you right now, he's good to go. He's excited about pitching tomorrow, so we're looking forward to seeing it.
Will what happens in the game tomorrow kind of influence your plans for Game 4, or do you already have that lined up in terms of pitching there?
Yeah, Mike and I were just talking about it right before I went on the show here with you guys, so that's what we're talking about now. We got a chance to win the game tomorrow. We'll do all we can to win that one, and we have length in this bullpen. We have some options, so these are things we're discussing right now.
All right, so Boch, for Friday, I hope you guys don't play Friday, but for Friday, I'm out in section 132 with my sons cheering you guys on. I'm bringing out Caden, who started section 133 with all the chants. Caden asked me this, and I said, I don't know, so I'm going to ask you, and you can have the same answer. Is there any chants that the players like more or less, or is there anything that they would like us to chant out in the outfield?
Ooh.
Man, good question. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you there. I don't know what chant they like. That's a good one. I just think more than anything, man, they just love the support. When we get those colleges up there, the cheering sections. No, it's what they feed off. Trust me, and they have fun with it, and it's cool to be back home.
I know there's ebbs and flows throughout every game, and then especially in the bullpen. I was just kind of curious, how are you feeling, or what's your trust level in Aroldis Chapman right now? Because obviously he's had a couple of rougher outings.
No, I mean, you see, we're putting him in there in the 8th inning. That was the plan for him to get to Brayu, then we would have Leclerc. So, no, the way it was set up, that was set up perfect for him. I think he's one. You have to look at him as one of our guys. We do check with him, just like all these guys, where he's at physically. But he came in and gave up that deep fly ball that Carter made a good catch on. But hey, he got through it. And when you look at how we're set up now, with Sporzy, Chappie's part of that mix, along with Leclerc. But I do have to mix in a guy or two maybe, so we don't overuse somebody.
Well, we appreciate the time. Obviously, we're hyped. The team is up 2-0, and we all across the Metroplex desperately hope we're having the same conversation next week talking about the World Series.
All right, guys. Always good talking with you. Thanks for having me on, and I'll see you, down the road here.